Hello, wonderful people. Hello. I don't know if I'm live. Am I alive? I hope I'm alive. I don't know if I'm alive. What up, dudes? Ark. I don't know if I'm live. Oh, we are. What up, dudes? How we doing tonight? Holy cow, that light is bright as AF. I'm gonna try to turn this down. Hopefully you guys. I see that there's. Sorry, this thing is gonna blow up my eyeballs. Oh, hold a little bit more. Turn it up a little bit. Turn back. Okay, there we go. Sorry, my dudes. I had to definitely watch out for my eyeballs. Hopefully we're doing amazing tonight. I am excited. Tonight's topic for the live chat is about hanging out with you guys and asking as many different questions as possible. So I need a favor from you guys. How is the microphone? Hopefully you guys can hear it. I do not have any background audio tonight, so it should just be this. Also, the way this works, you guys can ask questions. I'm going to try to get through as many questions as possible. We're going to hang out for about an hour. And this is a great time to just ask me questions. If you guys are wanting to skip the line and I'm missing your question, you guys want to donate, you guys can use the link that is pinned up there. It's going to be down in the description. You don't have to donate to get your question answered, but if you do donate, it definitely jumps to the priority list, as well as I'll spend a little bit more time answering that question. So we got a whole bunch of people in here. We got Roy says cam looks good and audio on point. Let's go. We also got Jono. What's up, Jono? 3:05 a.m. Let's go. Joe R. What up? Yo, how we doing, T? What up, dog? Doing good. Derek. What up, dude? Derek. Ark Vids. What's up, Ark? Dude, how's the boots, dog? Let's go. There's a whole bunch of you guys here already. This is freaking awesome. Chris Lane. What up, dude? I'm gonna go around and try to answer as many different questions as possible. Sometimes we'll get people jumping in the chat a little bit late and they may ask a question again, but I'm going to try to do my best to not repeat too many questions. I am going to try to implement this other tactic. If I have a video I created a library of Instagram clips where if I can at any point, I can refer to a visual example for you guys. I definitely want to do that. I do not have an entire library of every single question in the entire world, but I would definitely want to do my best to give you guys as many, I want you guys to get better at snowboarding. That's the whole point of this chat. And so I'm going to try to do the best I can to help you guys out. So let's go back through, and I'm going to say what's up to quite a few of you guys. E-Dog, what up? Corey, I'm Steez, how are you? How about you? I'm trying. Doesn't always work. Venture, how you doing? Corey says, how do I get steezy at high speeds? I think steezy is such a subjective thing because some people love my style, some people hate my style. Some people love Shaun White, some people don't. Some like Travis Rice, some don't. You know, steez is definitely a subjective thing. But what I think steez is, when it comes to steez, and I'd love to know your guys' definition as well, steez to me is having such ownership of the trick or whatever you're doing that you can add your own flair to it. So let's say that you're carving. Are you just carving? Are you carving and put one hand down, the other hand down? Are you getting super low and making big trenches? Are you, what is your ownership level and how do you spice that up? As well as if you're on a rail, are you just on a rail, pretty tall, pretty, not really doing anything special? Or are you getting super low, tweaking it out, making one foot hang over more than the other and really sinking down and adding some flair to it? Even how do you get out of that thing? So, and we also got a $5 super chat coming in freaking hot. We got Chris Lane. What up, dog? Yo, thoughts on rotating? Ooh, this is a great question. Yo, Chris, I saw your DM. I didn't get a chance. I saw that you messaged me. I didn't get a chance to get to it. Today's been hectic. Things are crazy right now, but things are good. So with the $5 donation, the question is, this is a great question for all of you guys. Ah, dang it. Thought I had a snowboard bindings in here. It says, yo, thoughts on rotating high backs to be parallel to the edge after you rotate your bindings. Got my Killing It hoodie today. Let's go. I'm going to do my best to kind of talk about it. So as you guys know, this is a snowboard. This snowboard is actually broken right now. Look at that. Oh, That's day 2 of having the snowboard, but I digress. So essentially what he's saying is, here's my snowboard, and this is the bindings, and my bindings are at 15 degrees on this side, 15 degrees on that side, totally cool. What ends up happening is my bindings are at 15 degrees. Well, guess what? My high back is also 15 degrees at the same angle, 15 degrees. So what I like to do is I have my foot at 15 degrees, and then instead of my high back being turned like this, I'll make my high back parallel to the heel side edge, so that essentially my angle of my foot is this direction, but then my high back is 15 degrees in the opposite direction. I'm gonna put this down. But the reason why I like doing that is as I lean back on a heel side edge, if I lean directly straight back and I pressure my calves against the high back, essentially I'm tilting the board with even pressure through the high back. If your high back's here, and let's just use this is like my kind of shin bone, if the angle is this way, I may end up only pressuring kind of the side of the binding or the high back, versus if it's rotated, I can pressure it evenly across the whole entire high back. Some high backs are naturally a little bit more flexy, and when they're more flexy like that, you're diluting some of the energy. So I personally rotate them. One challenge that you may have when you're rotating like that is it's constantly putting pressure, and your screws in the bottom corners are going to get loose probably a little bit sooner, because as you twist it, it's going to like start getting a little pressure. It's a little interesting, but I definitely do that for sure. Elliot says, no question, just want to say you rock, man. Let's go, dude. You've helped out tremendously with the progression. Let's go. That's so flipping sick, dude. I'm so hyped on that. So do you guys do that at all? Do you guys do the high back, or have you ever done that before? All you simply do on your high back, your bindings, is you just you loosen the high back screws that attach your high back, and then you can loosen them and you can shift them so they're parallel to the edge. I think they're pretty freaking sick. Let's see. Adrian says, how to link turns on steep terrain. Last time I tried going from heel side to toe side, my edge slipped out. That's definitely like a heck of a good question. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. And I'm not sure if you've seen this video. This is one thing that so I'm on my other screen on my computer right now. You guys can't see this yet, but I'm going to my channel. Let's see if this even works today. Oh, yes. Okay, so last time we were in this thing, it wasn't working. So I'm gonna switch over to the desktop view. So this is my YouTube channel. Welcome. I appreciate you guys being here. We're almost to 40K. So in October, we were at 18,000. So we've over doubled. So thank you guys so flipping much. But you can go to my channel. You can type over here on the right-hand side. There's this search button, and you can search video. So then how you're struggling with steep turns, and I'm going to mute this bad boy. I'm going to mute me. So one thing that you're going to notice here, and this is a great video. If you haven't seen this, it talks about how to ride steep terrain, but I kind of wanted to talk about this right here. So when you guys are making these, sorry, this is going to spaz you out. I just want to check something real quick. Yeah, okay. So when you're making turns, when it comes to this steeper turns, the biggest thing is being in a position that allows that turn to be earlier. And essentially you want to have about 60% of your weight on your lead foot, allowing your front of your board get early edge engagement, allowing you to create that turn faster and sooner so that you minimize your time down the fall line. The more you're pointed straight down the hill, the faster you're gonna go. So if you're looking for an in-depth video / beginner guide, this video right here is flipping fire. Minimize that turn. And then another thing that ends up happening with steep turns is if I'm leaning so far back, imagine I'm leaning back in this chair, and at a point, I'm going to lean too far back and I'm going to fall out of my chair. The same thing happens on our snowboard. We're pointing our board down the fall line, we turn, and we lean too far back, we're going to slip out. So we want to be in a more of a compact and smaller position so that we can handle those turns, just like you saw in that video. So hopefully that helps. Check out that video. It's pretty fire. Finn says, any tips for front side, board slide, 270 out? I don't think I have a front blunt same out on this, but when it comes to front blunt same way, and I'm assuming I guess there could be 2 different variations of this trick. If this is the rail, you can just do a front board and then then the front board same way, which you may be asking, or you might want front blunt. which means you hop over the rail just a little bit more. But the biggest thing is being able to drive your back shoulder in the direction you want to go and get your eyes to look. And the sooner your shoulder and your eyes look for the landing while you're in the air, the easier and the more snappy that thing's gonna come around, which helps a lot. Yo.
I'm having trouble going from my toe edge to my heel edge quickly. What should I do?
Ooh, and let me know if you guys can hear that, dude. Charlie, dude, thank you so much for the $5 donation. And using Karen, we love Karen. We love her. When you're trying, there's two different options when you're trying to do a heel side to toe turn or toe to heel. And you specifically ask going from toe to heel. With a toe to heel turn, essentially you have this thing called you need to unweight the board. You need to minimize the pressure on your board so that you can transition from one edge to the other. So if you go in your turn and you're in a small position.
Hey Tommy, I am new to snowboarding and progressing quickly. However, I am still having trouble getting in the air and feeling in control at the moment when the board hits the ground on the landing. Any tips?
Yo, Curtis, I'm gonna get to that here in a hot second. Thank you guys for letting me know, like full dingle, dude. Thank you for letting me know that you guys hear Karen. That's freaking sick. So I'm gonna get to that Curtis's chat here, question here in a hot second. So Charlie was talking about that. So you want to be able to be in a small position as you're in the middle of your turn, and then if you stand up, essentially you unweight the board and you minimize the resistance, and then you can go from the next turn. If you guys go to the YouTube channel, I just dropped a sick video. If you go here to my library, advanced carving, and I actually talk about that just a little bit. So we talk about being in like a smaller position and a taller position. This is a very good video. If you're more of a beginner, you can just type in turn over here in the corner. How to turn, this second video right here with 108,000 views. That one's pretty fire too as well. But that's our one option again is being low in the turn, and as you finish that turn, stand up and then lean over into the next turn. That's our most basic way to turn, which definitely helps a lot. So hopefully that helps. If that does not make sense, definitely let me know. Then we got Curtis. Hey Tommy, I'm new to snowboarding and progressing quickly. Let's go. He says, however, I'm still having trouble getting in the air and feeling in control at the moment when the board hits the ground on the landing. Any tips? Yes, I definitely do. Let me see if I can find a video real quick for you of a straight air. So I'm gonna search my library real quick. I'm gonna search my library real quick. Shifty is gonna be the word. Side hit. Now, are you talking about a side hit or not? Okay, let's just do this one. All right, so we're doing this one. So we'll use this as an example. We're gonna go 1080 here. That's for sure. We're going 1080. We're gonna try to play this thing. Oh, there we go. So what I want to talk about is one of the biggest things about landing really good is about taking off really good. So you're gonna notice here that I got an itch. I apologize. There we go. You're going to notice here that my weight is pretty much distributed between both of my feet, like pretty evenly. So my board is nice and flat, and I'm nearly, my drawing's kind of back, kind of not sick, but I'm pretty much stacked as I'm going off of the lip. And then as I go off of the lip, there's a nice little hack, guys. You could go play, view, slow. And then notice that I take off with both feet at the same time. My board is nearly even, maybe like a percentage, a little back. But notice that I extend with both feet at the same time. And then after that, your position in the air, this next step after I've extended is to bring my knees up. And I'm not bringing my heels towards my butt. I'm bringing my heels. So I'm not bringing my heels towards my butt. I'm bringing my toes and my knees upward. What that's going to do is put me in a nice solid position while I'm in the air. And then we're going to move forward just a little bit. So your in the air body position has to be like freaking good. Now you're going to notice here that I do a little shifty. We're going to just not really count that. But what I am doing, whether I'm doing this shifty or whether I'm doing a straight air, my eyes are looking at the landing where I'm going. I'm not looking at my feet, or I'm not looking at my board, I'm not looking at my feet. So looking at the landing. Also, notice that this lead shoulder is also pointed at the landing in the direction that I'm going. That's super important to be in a strong, stable position at the landing. Because what happens is most people their lead shoulder is open like 45 to 80 degrees, and that causes you to rotate and be on your heels. Here we go. Okay, get a nice little slow-mo for us. Okay, now look at this landing position here. Now, slow-mo. Okay, yes, I do land slightly on my tail first, and it's more style for fun, but you can definitely implement that. But notice where my body position is. I'm stacked over the board again, as in the next couple frames, I'm going to absorb the impact with both of my knees, allowing me to handle that pressure. I may even land on a slight toe side edge so that I feel gripped. But notice that my shoulder, hips, and knees are all pointed in the same direction, that my lead shoulder is not crazy twisted over here. My weight's not super back seat, and I'm not flailing to the back. I might have a slight shoulder open, but it's very minimal. And then I'm able to absorb, like I said. Look at that, right away. Hopefully that makes sense. And thank you so much for the $5 donation, dude. Let's go. All right, we'll go back in. We're back in here. All right, moving on with another question. We got, Ark says, Full Dingle donating via Streamlabs. Let's go. The Streamlabs is pretty sick. Oh, hey. I don't know how long that's been there. I'm sorry, dudes. Hold on. Sorry about that, my dudes. I'm going to lock this bad boy in there. I also don't want this to be rubbing on it because that's super annoying. I might look a little funny for a hot second, but you know what? You guys will get used to it. That looks weird. I know. Don't judge me too hard. It looks weird. All right, so moving on. We got John Craig. Says, okay, John Craig says, any tips on preventing broken wrist because I broke mine yesterday? I gotta sneeze is really what's happening right now. Hold on. I'm sorry. This is weird. I also don't want to blow out the microphone, so all right, we're good. So with that said, the question was about breaking wrist. So ideally, when I fall, I try not to fall directly onto my wrist and just put my arm out. Ideally, I like to fall with my forearms out so that I can distribute the pressure between this entire length of the bone and this one together, but it's not always the best situation. And sometimes I try to roll out of my falls or spins, or I try to get my energy to not come to a direct stop. That's definitely the goal, is to keep the momentum going and distribute that, because I do fall a lot more than you guys think. And then so I'm trying to distribute my pressure out instead of just into my body. But you can definitely wear wrist guards. Now there is a kind of a double-edged sword with wrist guards. People argue that because you have a wrist guard here.
Are you flipping kidding me?
Thank you for the content, my dude. I've progressed a lot thanks to the pointers in your videos.
Yo, dude. Thank you so much, Ghost Border 1337, dude. Yo, thank you so much for the content, dude. I progressed a lot. Let's go, dude. I appreciate the $100. And Ghost, dude, you're killing it, bro. I know you're killing it. Some back threes with some grabs coming out of nowhere, some back ones. Some switch, some rocket airs maybe. Dude, that you're freaking killing it. Okay, sorry, I thought this thing died again. Sorry, there we go. Hopefully that's a little better. I just don't want it to be rubbing on there. Thank you so much for the $100 donation, dude. What the flip? I was gonna finish that statement, and then I was also going to go to Derek with his question. So give me 1 second. With wrist guards, they could argue if you're going to protect your wrist and protect all the little bones in there. But some would argue that all that pressure is going to go break your arm versus your wrist. It's subjective, right? But I've had wrist surgeries, and it's definitely not sick. So breaking the little bones in your body can you might have to get surgery because they're so small and it's not fun. Wood says, audio is good. Dude, thank you so much. And then we also got Derek with a $2 super chat. Dude, what up, dog? Says, bro, what do you think of natural selection? I think that I watched some of it. I need to go back and watch the finals, or go watch the finals.
Gesundheit.
Dude, thank you so much. Oh, well, thank you. You know, that was a minute ago. I was like, trying not to like blow you guys' eardrums out either. But I do think that natural selection is so flipping sick, because it's like those dudes have to do runs with never really hitting the features and really owning what kind of snowboarding style they have and owning their riding and owning their skills. It's so flipping sick. And Ferguson, yeah, I think, oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Natural selection for the win. And then Sean Roman, thank you so much for the $10 donation. That reminds me, I'm in the works. I'm going to check this email real quick. Oh, dang it, it's not what I thought it was. So I'm in the works with a really cool project, and it's going to like help me, but more importantly, so a company approached me about giving me something for free, and I said, well, that'd be sick, but what if I could give something for free to my audience or to the subscribers and just give back? And so I'm working on a deal where I want to do a really big giveaway. We're almost at 75K on Instagram. We're about to hit 40K on YouTube. I want to do a really big giveaway where I give away a special package, which I can't tell you what it includes. The special is pretty cool. But then I was thinking about donating like 2 hours of my time to come coach whoever that is. They would be required to come to Colorado and be able to ride here, whether you live here or travel here in the next couple of years, whatever it is. If we cross paths, I did this actually in New Zealand. I did a giveaway, free coaching session. I gave that, and that person happened to be in New Zealand, and I happened to be traveling there, and I ended up coaching them for a couple hours. A sick day. So I don't do any private lessons, but this could be a really cool thing where I give away like some really cool packages, but one of them would include like a 2-hour coaching session with me, and it could be really freaking sick. Could be sick. So let me know if you guys are interested in that. As this deal happens, hopefully it happens, like start getting some more information on it. I put out a proposal today. I'm hoping to have some information in the next couple of days if they're into it. And then if not, I still want to do something special. I got an item that I want to give away that's separate. So whatever it is, I want to come up with a really cool like thank you type of thing, a giveaway, donate my time to vibe with you, as well as some cool products. So see what we can do here. Chase says, any tips for learning park? Start small and then progress. And you'll be surprised on how much stuff you can learn outside of the park to bring in the park. You can learn, actually, I'm dropping a how-to boardside video, like an ultimate beginner how-to boardside. And about half of the video is outside of the park, because I want to teach you guys how to snowboard in the right body positions and understand the mechanics of the board side before ever getting on a rail or a box for you guys to get broke off. So you can learn a lot of stuff outside of the park for sure. Squidfish. Spend more time on the mountain. You'll get it, Alex. I'm jumping in a conversation. Rip. Drayden says, any tips other than pop late when doing frontside spins off heels so I don't catch an edge? Yes. Your timing of your C turn, and this is like kind of a, let's see if we can, we might be able to draw this real quick. Let me see if I can pull up a whiteboard real quick. Whiteboard. I'm not the best drawer, but I'm not the best drawer. Whiteboard app. I don't want shopping. I don't want images. Okay, so I'm gonna try to do my best to draw this for you guys. I'm gonna switch the screen over. So I got a nice little jump. So let's say our jump is here. Oh yeah, that jump is sick. Sending it. All right, so we got this jump here. Now, whatever we do have a C turn. No matter what, when we're taking off heel side or toe side, we have a C turn. So I'm a regular rider, so my C turn has to look like this. And then this is my setup turn. So I'm gonna be riding in here, and then I'm gonna make the C turn. Now, with this C turn, if I position the C turn too early, it's gonna look like this. So I'm gonna change colors real quick. I'm gonna go like this. If I position this turn too early, then that was terrible. I apologize. We're gonna go back. If I position the C turn too early, I'm gonna start skidding and then look at my trajectory based on this jump, right? So that's not ideal. Ideally, ideally I have like this perfect C turn that like allows me to go straight, and then I can do my S turn. So if you're taking off too early or too late, this will change your trajectory. And essentially when you're changing your trajectory, when you're, oh, hey, sorry, I'm gonna just do this real quick. So when I'm changing that trajectory, if I'm going too early, I increase my chances of my board being sideways at the wrong time. So pop late. Yes, that's a big deal. The other thing is sink your belly button down so that when you pop, you're leaving the jump and you're not just skidding. So actually pop by sinking down. Those are like two really big things. Sabrina's got a good question here. Sabrina says, hey, Tommy, how do you get over the mental blocks of blind landings and backside 180s of small jumps? Thank you so much. Two things about like your backside 180. When it comes to backside 180s, what's the most scary is that you're blind, right? You can't see that. Obviously, that was part of the question. But the other part of that is that when you're, I'm going to interrupt real quick. We got Champo with a $10 donation, dude. Thank you so much for the super chat. It says, keep up the good work, homie. I just picked up a snowboard and watching your videos has been awesome. Yes, dude, I'm so stoked to hear that. I appreciate you supporting the content, digging the content, more importantly, just becoming better at snowboarding and utilizing the videos and that stuff. Like, I'm always like impressed by how much people are progressing just by watching YouTube videos or Instagram posts. It literally blows my mind. So thank you so much for the $10 donation. Canada, let's go. So we're going back to Sabrina's question about backside 180. So obviously we're scared that it's blind. The other thing about that is we don't want to catch our heel side edge. So we got to make sure that we're able to control our body position in the air. Now, what I recommend that you do when you're just starting off small ones, and I did this today, is you can do backside 90-degree rotation and then finish. What that's going to teach you is how to land when you're not in the perfect position without catching an edge, and then finish the trick. And then you can amplify that. Instead of doing a 90-degree to finish, you're gonna do a 120-degree rotate to finish, and then build that up to the 180 to finish. And just don't even go into the park yet. Do that 15, 20 times where you're just doing flat ground 180s. Am I leaning too far over? Am I leaning too far back? Am I leaning over my tail or my nose too much? Where's my body position? And correct it. After that, take that same thing to a small roller where you're amplifying the intensity or the amplitude that you have. But the other thing about doing it on a roller is you're now integrating timing. And that's something that I have not talked about a lot, but I need to, is timing that trick. Because I can just do as many 180s as I want at my leisure if it's flat ground. But as soon as I start implementing a specific time and place where I have to do something, then all these steps have to correspond to that, which means I have to do my S turn perfect or in the right sequence. I got to get to the feature. I got to pop at the right time, which trains you to do it off of a jump down the road, because you might be going too early, you might be going too late, as I talked about on the frontside spin. But the more repetition you get, the better. But just don't go big off of the jump and get bodied every time. Start outside the park, do backside 180s. Start it under a roller, take it to a low bumper or mogul, then bring it to the baby park, and then bring it on. And just by the time you get to the baby park, you should have had probably 50 backside 180s. You should be a lot more comfortable by the time you get that far down the line. So hopefully that helps. Chad says, any tips for riding super cold weather? Yes.
Are there any mountains near Denver that are really beginner friendly with not so steep green runs? I am planning to go next weekend.
I'm going to get to that in 1 second. Let me finish this one, and then heck yes, Rock. Soul Rock? Yeah, I got you. I had a question. Oh, cold temperatures. Wax is actually a big deal. If you have soft wax or warm wax, it's not awesome for cold temperatures, because essentially the crystals of the snow start to look super abrasive and aggressive like this. And then if you have soft wax, essentially the crystals are scratching away that wax, creating resistance. So you want a hard enough wax where it can just go over the crystals instead of actually pulling the wax out. So firmer wax. Also, get a puffy jacket. You see me rocking puffies all the time. Puffies are freaking sick because I don't have to have 12,000 layers looking like the Christmas story. I just have a puffy on. That's pretty awesome. And then, or just layer up. I wear a onesie, like not a ninja suit that the company, but I wear like a onesie, like a base layer onesie. And it's amazing because it just holds temperature in. So those kind of my recommendations for there. But is there any mountains near Denver that are beginner friendly? there's two really good options in my opinion. Breckenridge has some really good runs that are a lot more beginner friendly. That mountain's kind of like relatively flat and then it gets pretty steep. Of course, there's some stuff in between, but it's kind of like a nice dramatic difference. On the beginner terrain, there's just a peak 9 specifically in Breckenridge is like mellow, has a little bit of steep stuff. Peak 9 is a little steep up top, but mellow at the bottom. But there's a chairlift that just services the bottom. And then you can go to peak 8. There's like a nice long, kind of elongated catwalk. That's pretty long. It's called 4 o'clock and it's actually 4 miles long. But you go 4 o'clock and it's pretty long and pretty friendly. Copper also has some really good terrain over there on the right side, like in West Village. There's Kokomo Lift, has like some really good terrain over there. Then you can also take like Woodward Express that also has some good greens. But those two are really big options, whether you have an Icon or Epic. There's that corresponding resort. So thank you so much for the $3 donation. Let's go. Mike says, I have not snowboarded in 10 years, about 10 years, and went again in December 20 and was surprised on how well I did. How I did. Now me and the kids go, and I appreciate your videos and advice. No way. That's so sick that you went back snowboarding. More importantly, you're like sharing the love with the family. You know what I mean? That's freaking sick. Kyle Hustler says, do you coach Jake Cantor? No, I have never coached Jake Cantor. He is a local cat in the area. I've met him long time ago. I don't know him personally, but he's flipping good, that's for sure. Okay, JCPG says, I need to poke grabs more. Any pointers for indie nose poke with backside shifty? Ooh, yes. That's actually a really good one. You really want to exaggerate your back knee pulling in and almost like pulling in behind you. Grabbing indie, not super forward, but if you grab indie around your lead knee, but between the bindings, don't grab tindy. Around your lead knee and then around the lead knee, and then you also have the option, or grab around the lead knee to the bindings, between the bindings, and then you can shift backside and then extend your lead foot so it pokes down. It's pretty flipping sick. Let me see if I can find this one from Woodward. Indy, 4 of them. I don't have it.
2 quick questions for you. Which grabs do you recommend learning easy to more difficult for backside spins? What is the hardest grab with a backside spin and why?
Yo, thank you so much for the $25 donation, dude. Let's go. So hopefully I answered that question with the poke thing down. Hopefully I answered that, but I'm going to go on. And I couldn't find that video. I need to upload that one. I have like over 500 videos, but I haven't uploaded them to the Google Drive yet. So the question is about backside grabs, which one's easy? I personally like to grab mute on backside spins. So if you think about a backside rotation, I'm essentially spinning this direction, and then my hand is driving the rotation, and then this shoulder starts to rotate, but then the grab is just super easy. If I grab indie, I'm trying to rotate that way, but then I have to grab this way while rotating that way. I start getting super twisted. It's really challenging. Let me see if I have a backside 360 mute. In here, mute. I guess I don't. Back 3, front 3, back shifty. 3. I'm looking for a video real quick. Oh, that's not going to be it. Back 3 multiple grabs. So I need to update this, and I will do that at some point. But so that's the mute, which would be the lead hand between your bindings, is an easy one because your arms and your shoulders naturally go in that direction, allowing the rotation to keep going. That's definitely a really good option for us. And then I think that one of the most challenging grabs would be like backside 360 crail. I'm not sure what the absolute most challenging one is, but I think backside 360 crail is flipping hard simply because at backside 360 is this direction. I take this hand and I grab against the grain, but I'm also grabbing against the grain all the way to the nose that is so far away while going that way. So then I'm like in this crazy, weird, twisted position, but that's definitely one of my favorite grabs to do. I love that grab. Crail. I think I have this one. Low speed crail, crail, switch crail. I'm looking for it. Back one crail. Maybe I don't have it. Here's this indie poke from earlier. And then, oh, that one's beautiful. All right, moving on. So hopefully that answers your question. Those are the two, mute and crail. Emily, I think you're having a conversation with somebody else. Jacob, hi, big fan. What up, dog? How we doing? I appreciate you hopping in the chat. Let's go. Emk, is that how you say it? Huh. EMK, what's a good board for the park that's not too expensive? I'm not sure about price ranges, to be honest. I don't get into a lot of board reviews, but I do have a board review on the proper camber. If you guys use my code, I have a video of it. If you type in board review or proper camber or academy snowboards, it's a really fun, playful camber snowboard, which is pretty freaking sick. And I definitely suggest that one. Other than that, I would definitely reach out to Board Archive because that dude's got a lot of videos and does live streams as well. Mobility Duo, we just had a great idea. We should make a video explaining positions and names of each moves, and then we can make stretches to fit them. Yes, I think that would be a really good idea of like corresponding grabs or positions and then stretches for those, such as the crail, such as the seatbelt, such as tuck knee. That's definitely could be a really flipping good idea. I gotta sneeze again, what the heck? Squad fish, LOL. Jake Smith says, how do you control speed when going down fast mountain hills while still going fast and not completely stopping? I think it's just about pressure management as well as body positions. I have 2 videos about going fast. You can check both of those out on the channel. But the biggest thing is being in a position that allows you to control your board optimally, because if you just lean way too far back, you will create a lot of tilt of your snowboard, but then you're not going to be able to manage that pressure. And then sometimes you want to be low and being able to move your snowboard sideways really fast or lift up your toes and increase the pressure, but being able to do that in a strong body position is going to be like your biggest advantage. So I'm going to go here. We got Tommy Bennett's channel. You can go to this tab right here. And then one says, go fast, question mark, how to snowboard fast on bumpy and off-piste terrain. This video, I talk about that a lot. You could also type in the chat. I have another one. Type in fast, how to go fast. This one also talks about, ooh, this one's popping off, 227. This one also has some really good information on it. It's crazy to look at like the numbers and stuff because some of these videos, just like they continue to grow, which is super quick, super cool. Jonathan Black, what size? So do you recommend size 8 boot to fit into small bindings than medium? Yes. If you have a small.
Hey Tommy, love your videos. Thanks for sharing and helping. I am trying to work on carving and heading to Beaver Creek this weekend. You have any suggestions for trails to hit to practice on? And just favorite trails in general at Beaver Creek?
Ooh, that is a great question. Let me think about it for a hot second. I'm going to continue answering the first question I was on, so I don't forget to get back to that, and then we're going to get into the Beaver Creek question. I have a size 8 boot, and I recommend a small binding. The reason is, on a medium-sized binding, the actual base of your binding is like, let's just use this as an example, this wide, and then my feet sit here. Well, notice how much space there is, so when I go turn or spin or rotate, I literally feel my boot moving in my binding, even if I crank them down. So then when I go small bindings, they're literally hugging my foot, so I don't have that rotation, so it doesn't feel like I'm just a little loose. So I do recommend small bindings. As far as Beaver Creek, cinch, chairlift, like going up the first main chairlift, Oh wow, it's been a minute. I grew up riding Beaver Creek when I was a little toddler, little pup dude. Cinch has some really good terrain up there. Latigo is also a really good run. Stay away from Gold Dust. It's like a top to bottom beginner run, but they patrol it all the time. You're probably gonna get yelled at if you go fast or you're jumping or anything like that. So Gold Dust is like kind of a no-no, unless you're gonna go slow. But then I would say like Latigo is really good. Directly underneath the chairlift is really good. I'm totally spacing out on the names, but there's like the first main Chondola, which is a 6-person chair and gondola combined. It's kind of like almost every other, but you can go to the top of that and then you move. And then you move to there's like another chairlift up there, and there's a lot of good runs up there too. I wish I had my trail map out here for you, because that probably could help a lot. Let's see. Squidfish, seriously, join Angry Snowboarder for the best reviews. He has some really good content out there, that's for sure. Yeah. Board Archive, Angry Snowboarder, those dudes are like, they're super into the product review type stuff. And I personally just rather talk about learning tricks and body positions and getting nerdy about that stuff, but not necessarily on the boards. Personally, I just don't like riding new boards because I get broke off. I literally get hurt riding new boards because I expect the board to feel, this is what happens. I ride the same board for the last like 5 years. And then I get on a new board. I treat that new board as the same board, so I do stuff that I'm used to doing, and then it backfires because it does. I don't treat it the way it needs to be treated. I treat it like I used to ride the other board, and it backfires. I either catch an edge, I catch a tip, and I smack my head, knock myself out. Like, true story, not fun. Chris, was it Merritt? Yo, dude, I'm dropping a how-to boardside video on Friday. Literally, it's going to be the geekiest, nerdiest, ultimate guide. You're going to freaking love it. It's going to be sick. How do you prevent the fear of leaning backwards when picking up speed? Body position and trusting your body position. So your body position is both knees are flexed at the same time, being strong, and then trusting that. As fear comes in, you naturally want to shift away from fear or from danger. You got to hold that, but think about being in a smaller, compact position so you're in a more athletic stance. And Matthew, thank you so much for the $10 donation. Anybody have any good suggestions on Beaver Creek runs? Question mark? Yes, Centennial is under the chairlift. No Joey is his name. No Joey is his name. I'm not saying no Joey. No Joey is his name. He says Centennial is underneath the chairlift. That Centennial, when I was a kid, me and my brother would literally just straight line down that run at like 9:01 a.m. It was so fun. Byronic, I'm probably butchering that, my bad. My girlfriend is having a lot of trouble getting off the ski lift. She always falls down. Any tips for that one? Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm switching screens real quick. Dude, I got one for you and your girlfriend. Riding one-footed. Snowboarding one-footed beginner guide. Lift lines, chairlifts, and more. Boom. So in here, I'm going to scroll. Yeah, okay, that's probably annoying. Where are you? I'm looking for a specific scene. I'm looking for a specific scene. In this video, I have like I talk about getting off the, oh, there we go. Okay. I'm going to slow this down a little bit, and you're going to see a couple of the biggest key components are when you're getting off the chairlift. Notice where my foot goes. So my foot goes right here. I'm actually pressuring my foot against the back of the inside of the binding so that I have a stable platform. I'm actually engaging my hips, my glutes, my quads, my hamstrings, like everything's engaged so that I'm like attached to the board. And then we're gonna do this. Then next is notice where my lead shoulder is. My lead shoulder, hip, and nose are all pointed in the same direction. So right here, point it out, point it out, point it out, point it out. It's all going in the same direction. But here's also something. I push off just very gently from the chairlift to create separation from the chairlift. but everything is pointing in the same direction. What's most likely happening is she's putting too much weight on this foot, or her shoulder is pointed way too far open, like towards the left, like way too much. So she's got to be in a stacked, athletic, strong position with everything pointed at the same direction. And then look how strong. I'm just standing around. I'm just standing. I'm just vibing, just standing. Let the momentum take you out. So hopefully that makes sense. We're getting off the chairlift. Danny with the $5 donation. Danny P, dude, let's go. I appreciate that. We're gonna have a good time here. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna do this. I'm just gonna like, yo, what, dude, Danny. Dude, thank you so much for the $5 donation, dude. Let's go. I appreciate that. If you got a question, definitely pop them in the chat. Kyle, LOL. It's funny. Snowflex, what up, dog? How you doing, dude? He says, I've been popping my rib in and out, and it hurts a lot, and I can barely move. No way, dude. Any tips for not popping it out again? My only tip would be to hit him up on Instagram. Tell him that you know me, that, you know, I used to coach you and stuff. But hit up Mobility Duo, because they have like a bunch of science nerdy degrees on the body. I just talk about snowboarding, so I don't have any specific medical suggestions for you, but I definitely think that they could help you out. Reach out to them. Tell them you know me. Let's see. Kutia. I remember we talked about last time. It says, hi, I'm from New York, Ice Coast. I'm very excited. Stoked Tommy B snowboarder, dude out there. Let's go. Yeah, I appreciate that. I remember that. I think you were here last week, right? Appreciate it. Squadfish says, you are the killer at coaching G. Dude, I appreciate that, man. I've been at this thing for a long time. I've been really stoked on just vibing and hanging out, and like, look at this. I got a little boo-boo because I was on a trampoline doing little tramp tricks. But I've been really stoked on just this journey and seeing where we can take it down the road. Who knows what's going to happen, but I'm really excited that people are vibing with the content. You know, that's a big deal, that I'm providing value and people are actually creating change. And that's like the sickest thing out there. So Squadfish, I appreciate it, dude. I'll do what you excel at, dude. Let's go. I just started split boarding from resort boarding. Any general tips while skiing walking mode? Ooh, I've only split boarded one time. I'm not a big fan of the backcountry, simply because it's just gnarly, man. I've lost some friends. I've known people who've lost siblings out there, and that stuff's just like, it's hard, man. It's hard. But I don't really have any good suggestions for you. I wish I did. Apologize. Nerd Life, says Chris. Hashtag Nerd Life. Let's go. Andrew Strong, what's the best way to learn flat ground 360s? It's all about pressure management and understanding when to lift up your toes or push them down. The biggest thing you're going to battle is catching an edge, and it's not fun. Trust me, it sucks. Done it so many times, and I know a lot of... We're not going to go there. So the biggest thing is being able to start in a small position, and then you're going to throw your shoulder and then stand up. So you're essentially like unweighting the board a little bit, and you can initiate that spin like that. You don't have to stay tall, but you can unweight the board, meaning making that board nice and light when it's spinning around. And then as you're making your heel side turn, you got to lift up your toes, and then you're transitioning to your toes, lift up your heels, and you do this like nice flat ground spin. If you actually want to see a video, we're gonna go to, let's just type in 360. Okay, this one right here. How to frontside 360 on the ground. This one's actually pretty sick because on this video right here, it's pretty fire, dudes. I made this one this summer. Look at me. Oh, look at that guy. Oh. So I talk about like some flat ground tricks right here. Oh yeah, it's in slow-mo. That's why he looks so funny. What a goofus. So that's flat ground right there. Notice that my heels are up, my toes are up. We're gonna watch that one more time. Heels, then put all my pressure on my toes so I don't catch an edge. That is a big deal. Go watch that video. How to frontside 360. Underrated video. It's underrated because it came out in July. July when no one's snowboarding. What we got in here? What do we got? Bryce, dude, Bryce. What's up, Tommy? Thought on Tellus snowboards looking at the backlash. So I rode for Tellus last year, and I don't ride for them anymore to be as nice as possible. I think that their boards, okay, here's the thing. Bryce, I'm going to be transparent with you. The boards are sick. Me and them didn't vibe as a collaborative unit and stuff, but their boards are sick. I ended up riding one of their snowboards last year, and within like 2 hours, learned a new trick. And I'm talking front 7 to like front 9, almost got front 10 within riding that board for like 2 hours. So the boards are freaking sick. I just don't ride for them. We just didn't see eye to eye, but the boards are fire. Rob says, what up, everybody? Portland, Oregon. Dude, I lived in Hood for 3 years, BT Dub. When approaching small jumps, do you go flat base or on a slight edge and landings? I like to land on a slight edge. About 99.6% of the time, I like to land on an edge. I can land flat base, but I like to be on an edge. And then as far as takeoffs, I definitely think that either of them are a really good option. Being able to do both, depending on the situation. But tomorrow's video I'm gonna drop, I do double tail grab, and I take off flat base off of a small jump, totally fine. As long as your shoulders, hips, and board are all pointed in the same direction and you're stacked, if your lead shoulder's open and you take off flat base, you're naturally gonna rotate in the air. As long as you're in a stacked, aligned position, you'll be fine. Stomp pads, yes or no? I go bareback. I don't ride stomp pads just simply because in the video, I apply so much pressure to the edge of my binding that I don't feel I need them. Definitely useful if you're not comfortable, you're getting used to it. Definitely an option, but I personally don't. I'm trying to think. Alex, my guy, love your videos. Dude, let's go. I appreciate that. Finn says, any tips for front side, board side 270 out, holding grabs longer? So the front side board 70, 270 out, I answered that at the beginning of the video, but I'll answer holding grabs longer. The two things about holding grabs longer is you got to throw the initiation a little bit harder to overcompensate. Sometimes when you grab, it will slow the rotation down a little bit. So you might have to, especially if you're holding the grab for a longer time, you're gonna have to like throw it just slightly harder so you can hold it longer. But the other thing is, when you're doing a spin and you're trying to hold it longer, you gotta be in a balanced position in the air, or else you're gonna hold it and then arm swing. Well, then how am I gonna be holding a grab if I'm too busy swinging my arms or I'm out of balance? So if you can lock in, that grab stems from being in a balanced position where you're just in the air, just floating, balanced. So you don't have to let go and wave your hands around all over the place. All right, Charlie's Fine says, Wolf Creek Mountain, Silverton, the sickest, let's go, dude, that sounds so freaking sick. Brady, yo, love seeing you out there today. Keep killing it, dude. Sorry, I thought I heard somebody. Yo, dude, I appreciate that. Let's go, dude. It's sick out there, dude. Copper's freaking balling. Jake Moon said, I just landed my first backside 360. How can I get them more consistent? I can't grab the nose or the tail. How do I do it? Really, the biggest thing is making sure that your S turn. Let's see if I can find a video for you. I need to upload. I need to pop this library up a little bit. And you said backside 360? I'm trying to find a video right now. Backside 360, frontside 360, backside cover 360 out. Do I have so many front threes? I don't have any back threes. Okay, I'm gonna switch screens out real quick. So here's a little bit of a back three. We're gonna slow this video down because of what we like to do here. We're gonna go to 0.5. And we're also going to turn this up to 1080, and then we're going to play it. It's going to render, buffer. This is kind of a little bit of a video. So when it comes to doing backside 360, your guys' takeoff is such a big deal. So making sure that your trajectory in this line is super consistent. Because if you have a sporadic run-in and it's not a consistent run-in, I like to do like a C-turn every time.
Love your content. Do you have tips for learning switch?
Yes, I do have some tips for landing switch. Let me answer this one. I'll definitely help you out with that one, my dude. So your S turns have to be consistent, nice elongated takeoffs. And then once you're in the air, you're looking over your lead shoulder and you're keeping your core tight and then spotting the landing. So it's kind of a bad example for that one, but well, that was not what you guys wanted to see. Let's be honest here. A little spastic there. But the biggest thing is making sure that your line in is consistent. Once you're in the air, engage your core, which allows your upper and lower body to rotate together, and then spot the landing. But the more you do them, do 10 back threes, you're gonna get, you'd be decent at them. If you did 100, you've had so many experiences, both positive side and the negative side, that you're gonna be able to be consistent, because probably like 90, let's just call it 95% of the time, I can back three a jump that I'm familiar with and land 99 or 95% of the time, just because I've done literally multiple, like a couple thousand back threes. I just have had so much experience that when I go back seat, I know how to save it. Or I can look at the jump and know what body positions I need to be in. So you cannot substitute experience. We can expedite tricks, but not substitute. Oh,
What
you
up, our
guys are
dude?
amazing.
Kinley is absolutely killing it. She has her transitions down from her heel to toe. Any advice for her to get over the fear of going fast? She is 8.
Thank you so much for the $10 donation. I'm going to grab Tinha. That's a cool name. That question first, and then I'm going to happily help out Kensley, dude. That's so sick. I love that. Actually, you know what's really funny? I watched one of your videos. It popped up because I've subscribed to your YouTube channel. Subscribe to your YouTube channel, and it popped up the other day. I was like, ooh, you're putting in the work. So, love your content. Do you have any tips for riding switch? Yes. There's like 3 big tips for riding switch. First, you gotta do it. There's no substitute for experience. You gotta do it. So what is that, whatever that means? Maybe it's maybe it's your second run of the day and you do a full top to bottom. Maybe you spend an hour, maybe you spend a whole day. Maybe you spend an hour a day for 5 days and you just accumulate the actual repetition. So with that said, that's number 1, is you gotta do it. Okay, now after that, something that's going to be extremely helpful for you is called knee steering. Essentially, you want about 60% of your weight on your lead foot. Now, when you make a toe side turn, you essentially want to take your knee and press it over the lead binding, so you're squishing down. Imagine there's a bug on your ankle strap, and you're squishing that bug. What that's going to do is make the front of your snowboard turn faster, versus just this elongated, I'm scared, I'm not turning feeling. You want to make a little bit of a sharp turn. The more you press your knee in, the faster you're going to turn, and vice versa. And I'm going to get to that super chat here in a hot second as well. Let's go. And then on your heel side, you are in a flex position, 60% of your weight on your front foot, and then you open your knee. Now, 2 videos that are going to freaking help you so much. So I'm gonna pop this one. We're gonna go over here to this. I have 2 videos. The first one is a really short one, so we're just gonna type in here switch. Now, I'm explaining this knee steering thing, whatever the heck this means, right? Whatever this knee steering thing is, but let's just go. How to ride switch. There we go. How to ride switch. How to ride switch snowboard. This is going to be the first video I want you to watch because I talk about specifically knee steering. You're pushing that foot down. You're able to get your board to turn. Now, once you feel like you've mastered that or even just want to look for something different, improving your switch riding, I'm with my boy. We're working on switch riding and we're able to squish the knee. We're able to do this. And then I'm going to give you a few exercises on how to make you more awesome at switch in this video. So those two videos are freaking fire. Okay, so now moving on to this one, we're gonna go back to here, we're gonna go to here, we're gonna go to, okay. Oh, sorry, probably spastic, I apologize. That's not fun, there we go. Okay, so then the next donation that I had was the Wilders. If you guys wanna follow this family, they're pretty cool. They have their own YouTube channel. They're kind of documenting their kids. Kensley is learning how to snowboard. And if you guys wanna check it out, definitely check it out. But you're talking about transitioning from the heel side to toe side, from her heel side to toe side. One of the biggest challenges that, especially like an 8-year-old is gonna face is our world. I'm typing on a keyboard, I'm grabbing milk, I'm drinking my coffee. My entire world is perceived forward, right? And I'm gonna get to these other super chats here in a hot second. Dudes, you guys are freaking sick. So we perceive our world this way. Now what ends up happening is I'm snowboarding. My hips, my board are going this direction. Well, guess what? All of a sudden, I want to perceive my world this way. You guys can't really tell, but I'm pretty flippin' twisted out here. So I'm in this position. Now, because my lead shoulder is going this direction, I naturally and intuitively, this position makes heel sides freaking easy. What ends up happening, especially with an 8-year-old, 20-year-old, whatever it is, I'm in this position. I need to get my shoulder to point in the direction I'm going. So I need to be here. Well, I'm terrified of this position if I'm an 8-year-old because I've never really been in this position. And I somehow need to do that and then some where I got to point the shoulder even more to get enough pressure on my lead foot to turn. So what she's got to do is, and you may have seen this in ski school, I'm not necessarily trying to use my arm to initiate the turn, but if you have Kensley point over here for heel side, point over here for toe side, and then she can start squishing the bug, which is in that switch video, squishing the bug. All of a sudden, she's going to be in a better position to actually do that toe side turn. And that's going to be a big deal. Kensley, just have fun with it, right? Squish the bug, throw some snowballs, whatever you do, have some fun with it. It's going to be a good time. So big shout out to you guys. I appreciate the donation, and continue messaging me. I appreciate that. I know I don't get back to them all the time. I do my best. Things are freaking hectic. I coach snowboarding. One of my assistant snowboard coaches unfortunately had to stop coaching due to medical reasons. He's had some medical issues that he's unable to snowboard. So I'm kind of like taking his job and my job and trying to do everything. But we're rocking it. We're still having a good time. So thank you so much for the donation. Appreciate you guys. And then we also got a freaking another Bisla with a $2 super chat. I just bought a Ride Wildlife 2021 board. Opinions. I do not know anything about that specific snowboard, but I've heard a lot of amazing things about Ride as a company. So I bet you're going to have a good time. Arn Good says, which type of board is better for board sides, or which type of rail is better for board sides? Start with boxes, and then if you can find any flat rail that's like flat, then you can definitely go straight and then rotate sideways. I have a whole video coming out about that, but definitely a flat rail, not a tube. Tube is so like finicky that is really tough for sure. Thank you, Nightbot. Bree says, what's the trick? Okay, what's the trick cutoff for rollers and side hits versus actual jumps? Like what magnitude of a trick can I expect to be able to work on with no jumps? Oh, okay. So what is like kind of the upper level of tricks to be working on rollers and moguls before, like what's kind of that ceiling before transitioning into the park? Well, I personally think that 360 to the 540 realm is kind of like the top of that. I've definitely done a 720 off of a mogul before, but I think I'm kind of a little bit more of an exception. But when it comes to that, like 360s can definitely be a very good skill to learn. And then if you're doing 540s off moguls and rollers, you're gonna have to chuck them, and that's really hard to do. So I would definitely say like that 360 kind of pushing that 540 is kind of the top of that realm. But 360s are for sure doable. Miguel says, you don't have to wax. Oh, wait, should I wax? This is, Bisla says, should I wax a brand new board? Thanks. I 100% wax a brand new board. People say there's factory wax. Well, yeah, it's factory wax, but I want wax that's specific for the temperature range that I'm gonna go snowboard on. So there's no one wax that's like the most amazing thing ever, because if there was, you'd be paying a lot more money for it, and the factory is not gonna put out, in my opinion, and I could be biased, they're not gonna put out the most expensive, crazy wax. They're putting out a wax, it's good, but then I specifically wax to a temperature range. So if it's 20 degrees tomorrow, I'm waxing for 20 degrees. If it's 0 degrees, I'm waxing for 20 degrees or 0 degrees. I don't just put a general wax on there and just go. I wax specifically because you may get 10 to 20% more performance out of a wax that's specific for that temperature, and then I want that 20% potentially, you know? So I definitely 100% wax that all the time.
For takeout Valentine's dinner for you and the GF.
I'm gonna take a picture of this. Oh, I missed it. We're gonna take a picture and send it to the GF. So Gordon says, take out Valentine's Day for you and your girlfriend. Thank you so much, Gordon. Are you coming out here in March? Hopefully. That's coming up pretty soon. Let's see. What else we got? Bree. Oh, yep. Talked about that one. Wax a brand new board. Yeah. Coming in late, so not sure if it was covered, but what are the keys to frontside board slides and what mindset do I have to do when hitting rails? Love the channel. Dude, I'm super hyped on that. So essentially what you want to do is your lead shoulder is pointed straight down the fall line, and you want to have your board and your hips rotate 90 degrees, and then you want the rail to land just inside your lead binding. But an easy way to learn that is go 50-50 on a box and then shift into the front board and feel what that feels like without committing to the whole entire box. So do that with the last 25% of the box and then get that a couple times, feel good, and then move it to the 50% halfway down the box, and then move it to where you're sliding most of the box, and then eventually you can jump into that and then slide the whole entire thing. So it's definitely, front boards are good. And then as far as riding rails, is just riding as many different rails as possible and then just trying to get extra comfortable with them. That's for sure. Let's see, this chat. So we got $2 says, why does angry snowboarder talk crap about you? I actually have not heard him talk crap about me, but it's inevitable. Like, that's just his MO. It's inevitable, right? That guy is gonna say something bad about everybody, and that's just part of it. It's a matter of time. It doesn't even piss me off because it's like you expect it, right? He's just saying stuff and he addresses it, and you know, we're all biased, right? We all have our opinions about other people. It's just human nature. So whatever it is, you know what I mean? Let's see. Oh, that's funny. I'm reading some of these chats in here. Sean Roman says he's angry. It's his MO. And like, people resonate with him that don't resonate with me. That's totally fine, and vice versa. Like, whatever. Nickel says, yeah, angry snowboarder on his live stream, straight horns about you and that in Buckhouse. Whatever. Maybe I should do a reaction video. Squadfish, that's funny. I appreciate you, G. Squid Live, Squidfish, dude, I appreciate that. Parker, what up, dog? Yeah, should I detune my boards if I hit rails, jumps, and kickers? I personally do like a 2-2, which means like my base bevel goes up 2 degrees, and then I put on like a side degree so that I don't have like a super sharp edge that's flush with the edge. Essentially, I flare my edge up so that it's not flush with the rail. I have mine flaring up so that I'm more sliding the base material more than the actual like edge. And then I detune the tip and tails, my contact points, but I don't actually detune in the middle because I like being able to grip the snow, or grip the ice, which is like taking off of a jump, which is riding in the half pipe, which is riding in the park, those kind of things. Yeah. Nico, yeah, Squadfish says exactly. Yeah. And that's it. Like, yeah, it's, you know, it's just like, it's human nature. Like, we all resonate with different people, you know, and like, he has a lot of good stuff to say. I got some good stuff to say. Do I agree with everything he says? We're talking about angry snowboarder. Do I agree with everything he says? No. Does he agree with everything I say? No. Like, but that's all good. Like, I ain't even mad about it. Mohammed, yo, can you make a quick quad 1900 tutorial real quick? Yeah, 100%. Will, yeah, I back that 100%. Matthias says, tips for adding grabs to my spins and delaying them more, question mark. Definitely when it comes to grabbing your snowboard, especially in spins, the goal is to bring your knees up and retract your knees and not reach for it. Because if you're reaching for it, even as if I was sitting on the edge of my chair and I reached for my grab, I'm gonna fall out of my chair to a point, right? So imagine doing that as I'm reaching for my grab, I'm in the middle of a spin, I'm gonna start tilting forward, then I increase my chances of landing on my face. So what you gotta do is think about bringing your knees up, you're keeping your spine upright, and you're bringing your knees to the grab or your board to the grab, and then you're able to grab, which is pretty sick. And then you're gonna have to keep looking in the direction you're rotating. It's really easy for us to like look down at our grab and then stop rotating, where we gotta like grab and know where it is and look.
What do you think will help Kinley with getting over the fear of a little speed?
That's a great question, and thank you so much for the $10 donation. Kensley, what's up? For Kensley, two things. One, knowing she can stop. If she can go, slow speed and practice stopping without falling. So I'm talking about 3 miles an hour, stop, don't fall. And then we increase that to 5 miles an hour, can she stop? 10 miles an hour, can she stop? I feel way more comfortable going fast when I can stop. Here's a good example. Going down the street, perfectly dry street. I'm in a sports car. I got some baller brakes going and I want to stop. Well, I know I can go really fast because I know I can stop. But if I'm on a icy road, am I going 100 miles an hour? No, because I'm going to stop and I'm going to slide over where I don't have no control. So that as long as she's in the conditions and the body position to stop, then you can start increasing your speed. One tactic that I've used with people is find a mellow run and then have her count to 3 with her board pointing straight down the hill. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, stop. Okay, cool, we're feeling good. Now let's go to 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stop. And then let's bring that to 6 seconds, 7, 10, 15, 20. And that's a good way to judge her comfort zone for that speed, but knowing that, if I can go 5 seconds down the straight fall line, maybe I can go 6. Obviously, this has got to be mellow green terrain. I'm not talking about, super gnarly terrain, which you could do if you want, but start mellow, increase that amount of time going down the fall line, and then she's going to build her confidence because she knows that she can go 5 seconds and stop. Push yourself a little bit, go 6 seconds and stop. Push yourself a little bit more, and so on and so on. So thank you so much for the $10 donation. Let's go. Matt. Oh, there we go. Having troubles increasing my speed from toe to heel on steep terrain and moguls. Any advice? Okay, Matt, thank you so much. I'm sorry that I missed that, dude. Let's go. I would say that with that knee steering, so think about getting your belly button low and being able to do knee steering so that your knee can make the board have early edge engagement, allowing that board to turn. So as you turn, it's going to be faster if you're turning from the front foot. So being able to do knee steering. But if you're super tall and lengthy, that's going to be really hard. But if you can get low and turn, it definitely helps for sure. And but you can do that on the toe side, you can do that on heel side. And then as far as moguls, there's like, the moguls are kind of shaped like little, I don't know, pimples. But you can definitely like, if this is a mogul, like right here, you can actually like go into the inside of the mogul and then use the side of the mogul as a berm to help redirect your momentum into the turn versus just riding like straight into the moguls. But you can use them almost like a NASCAR berm turn where it's like helping you assist, like redirect or deflect your momentum the opposite direction. That can definitely help for sure. Let's see. Joe says, I'm having a hard time reaching India grab, but I'm flexible, but feels like bringing my knees up and hard to grab. One thing that you may be doing, the biggest thing is keeping your chest a little bit more upright and bringing your knees as high as you can. So you can even do the test right now as you sit in your chair is, can I bring my knees up and can I grab my toe by just bringing my knee up without having to reach over? That's definitely going to be one thing. Another thing that a lot of people do, instead of just bringing your knees directly up, which I'm going to try to do like this. So if I bring my knees directly up and this is my shin is vertical. But if I bring my knees up and kick my heels back, the toe side edge is way back here. Look how hard that is to grab if it's way back here versus being right here. So essentially, yeah, it's hard to explain. It's hard to demonstrate. But if I'm able to just grab Indy this way, it's going to be better versus bringing my heels behind me. If that makes sense. If that makes sense. Extreme Stunts, what's up, dog? Where can I find powder at Copper Mountain? Honestly, dude, I have no idea. I've not been riding any trees. I've been just vibing in the park, man. Oh my God, that's funny. I'm dying out here, bro. Okay, Cody, tips for 180s off boxes. Yes, that's such a good one. When it comes to spinning off boxes, you definitely have to be patient where you have upper lower body separation, where you can like rotate your spine, but you don't want to necessarily affect your board and like get all sloppy or zeechy or crooked on the rail or the box. So the biggest thing is being able to wind up and you can start rotating your spine, but keep your belly button loose so you don't affect the board. The other thing is as you jump, you're trying to direct all your momentum into the ground so that you go straight up, but you're not necessarily directing your momentum towards your heels because you'll slip out, your toes you'll slip out. You got to direct everything straight down so you go straight up off of the feature. It's definitely a big deal. I have a dad bod. Awkward. Parker, funny. Silver says, any tips for my 6-year-old getting off the chairlift? I've been having trouble helping him out, coming out with a system. This is the first season. He's stoked about it. Let's go. Let's go. The biggest thing is being able to, if you can, have your kid have his back foot against the back of the binding, even just enough, and then his weight has to be even. What a lot of kids will do is they'll just shift their hips over the back binding and then just slip out and fall. So you may need to grab his lead hand and apply pressure to the front of him on the front so he's got enough weight between both feet, or maybe like 60% of his weight on his lead foot. So you can like pull his shoulder or pull his hand just a little bit, but then make sure that his eyes has somewhere to look. And the biggest thing is like on top of most chairlifts, there's a sign, a trash can, there's some kind of object that he can look at and have him look up and out towards that, then his momentum can help go that way. If his head's going down, he's most likely going down, because 6-year-olds, their center of mass is more like kind of upper body than just belly button. So the littler the kid is, the more their head is the center of mass. So if he looks down, he's going to go down. So have him look at something like the sign out there, make it a game, make it fun, and make sure he's got like enough weight on that front foot so he's not just slipping back and falling over, especially going down that ramp, if that makes sense. Camille says, how often should I tune my edges if I ride park? I do my edges probably about once a month, once every 3 weeks maybe. If I ride park every day and I snowboard every single day. With that said, I do it about every 3 weeks because they're pretty freaking solid, right? The edges are pretty firm, so I'll definitely do that. Well, guys, my voice is getting raspy. I'm going to end that there. I apologize if I was unable to get to your questions, but join me next week for another little nerd session. I may have a topic, I may not. Hopefully, I'm going to have some really good news for you guys about doing a giveaway. I have some couple things that I'm planning on working on and trying to make some really awesome stuff for you guys. So nothing but love. You guys are amazing. I hope you guys have like a wonderful evening. Hopefully you guys are ripping it up, and hopefully you guys are going to go snowboard sooner than later. So, all right, guys. So, sorry, I'm trying to do this. All right, guys, you guys are freaking awesome. And on that note, we are out of here. All right. Peace out. Nothing but love. Later, my dudes.